Hey everyone, it's Dave from Dave's Ohio Barbecue. Today we are going to be making low-carb keto mac and cheese. Stick around. So a couple months back I made a video making Spanish rice and making the rice that you get at Chipotle out of cauliflower, riced cauliflower, which is just cauliflower chopped up into little bits. And I'll put a link to those rice videos up here. Well, a YouTube user left a comment on the video. Her name was Rusty Lamb. And they said they really love making mac and cheese out of rice cauliflower. I've never even tried it, so I thought it might be a good one to give a whirl. So I went online, I found 5 or 6 different recipes that used rice cauliflower to make mac and cheese, and I tried maybe 4 of them out. And there were parts I liked from each, but this is my recipe where I combined the best parts of each one together into the ultimate cauliflower, bacon, crumble mac and cheese. It's really, really good. I use these bags of rice cauliflower that come from Costco. It's already pre-riced, it's frozen. Each bag contains like 5 little bags inside of it, and the little bags have about 2 cups. So this recipe is based on 2 cups. If you want to do less than that, then half it. If you want to do more, then double it. You can figure out the math. And by the way, I'll leave the recipe down below in the description so that you know all the measurements and everything. So in a bowl, I'm going to take about 4 ounces of half and half. You can use heavy cream, you can use milk. I find half and half is a nice middle ground, and I always have it in the fridge because my wife uses it for her coffee, so easy peasy. I'm going to put about 6 ounces of cheese into this mixture. Now, I'm going to start with 4 ounces of cheddar. I shred it myself because that pre-shredded stuff you buy in the bag, it'll work fine, but I don't really know what that stuff is that they put on it that keeps it from sticking together. And I don't know if it has, might have carbs in it. I'm just staying away from it. Shred it yourself. It's worth it. It melts better. So 4 ounces of cheddar, and then I put 1 ounce of cream cheese. Now for that last ounce, I like to use something with a little bit of saltiness to it, a little bit more strong flavor. Parmesan would work fine. I'm using a Cotija, or I guess it's pronounced. It's a Mexican cheese. It's kind of like a hard, sort of like a feta. It's kind of like Mexico's answer to feta. I'm going to put 1 ounce of that in there because it really melts well, and it does definitely add some tanginess to it. But if you don't have that, I understand. Just put another ounce of cheddar in there, or if you have some Parmesan cheese, add 1 ounce of that. That'll work just as well. I'm going to put a half a teaspoon of salt in there, a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper, and then a half a teaspoon of paprika. And on top of that, I'm going to add 1/8 of a teaspoon of dried mustard, ground mustard. You can just eyeball it if you don't have 1/8 of a teaspoon. Okay, so all that's in the bowl. I'm going to go put that into a pot and start heating it up slowly to get it all to melt and kind of combine. Now to that, I'm going to add the 2 cups of frozen cauliflower. I don't care if it's frozen. I'm just going to keep heating it until it's all coated and combined nicely. And I'm also going to add 1/4 cup of diced up bacon. If you have bacon, cook it off, let it cool, dice it up. I buy from Costco these bags of pre-diced bacon that they have. It's just bacon. There's no other ingredients in it. I use it on top of salads and stuff all the time, and it works great in this. So as all this is heating up and combining, now would be the time to preheat your oven. Turn it on to 375 and let it start warming up. Once the pot is all mixed and evenly spread out, and the cauliflower is all covered with gooey cheese and everything else, you're going to put it into a 8x8 greased baking dish. Okay? Put it in there, level it out, get it in there nice and even. And now, this is where I think my mac and cheese recipe kind of excels. I wanted to make this like the mac and cheese I had when I was a kid. When you go to a special occasion, someone would make mac and cheese with that breadcrumb topping on it. Butter and breadcrumb, it'll get all crunchy and brown. But breadcrumbs are kind of, illegal on the keto diet. So what I'm going to use instead is pork rinds. I know, sounds a little weird, right? You can try to mash them by hand. I did, and in hindsight, mashing them by hand probably isn't the best solution because there was still a lot of big chunks in there. So what would be easier is if you put it in a food processor, basically grind it up into not a dust, but a really, really small crumble, about the size of breadcrumbs. And I use about half a cup of breadcrumbs for this. To these breadcrumbs, I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of bacon, more bacon in the crumble, why not? And then 2 tablespoons of melted butter to kind of make it, you know, have a little bit more of a fry quality to it. Mix that all up, and then I'm going to take that and spread that on top of this mac and cheese and get a nice even coating on top of it. Then it goes into the oven. I cooked this for about 30 minutes in my oven, but you're going to want to check. You may need a little bit more, may need a little less. 30 minutes, got it really cooked. And then if you want to go a little longer and really get that brown on top, I like to turn my broiler on high and leave it under there for another 5 to 10 minutes to get the top to really, really crisp up. Everything's pretty much already cooked and there's no eggs or anything in this, so it's not a problem if you don't get it up to the right temperature. But you really want that top coating to get extra good, crispy and crumbly. Now, like I said in my last rice video, does this taste exactly like mac and cheese? No, it doesn't, but it's so close and it's so good. And the crunch on top is really, really satisfying. It's salty, it's cheesy, it's got that mouth feel of pasta, which is what you're looking for when you're trying to avoid all that starch and all that wheat. It's really, really good. It's the best side for barbecue, for hamburgers, whatever. Whatever you would usually have mac and cheese with, this is a great replacement. And there you have it. Keto, low carb, cauliflower, bacon, crunchy mac and cheese. It's really good, not very hard to make, and you'll love it. As always, thanks for watching. Make sure that you follow me on social media. I'm on Twitter and Instagram at Dave's Ohio Barbecue. And also look for my Facebook page. I've got a Facebook page, just Dave's Ohio Barbecue. Search it in Facebook. Should come up pretty easy. Make sure you subscribe. Hit the subscription button down below here and then press the little bell. That way you'll get notifications every time I make a new video. I've got a lot of videos coming out real soon. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.